Hello there and good evening from here. My name is Akinsami Emmanuel. I am a trained and certified chaplain from the College of Chaplains, the International Christian Chaplains Association, 1494 Fall River Avenue, Seekonk in Massachusetts. That's the headquarters of ICCA in the United States. And here in Africa, I represent ICCA as the Chief Executive Director. Good evening from here in Jos. It's quite cold here tonight in Jos, and I just choose to come sit under the lights to share this brief talk with someone that thinks that he or she might be the only one that's probably going through one thing or the other. I just finished talking with one of my children, my daughters, and we're sharing some things together concerning it's important to know that whatever you do today, it's not because of today, it's because of tomorrow. Not necessarily that you are expecting to be paid by the persons that you did it for, but that you must realize that different persons that God brings your way means different things to you, and they serve different purposes. I was talking to one of the church elders in our church that every one of you in our church don't mean the same thing to me. Different persons mean different things because you cover different positions, in my life and ministry. So that's why I don't and I wouldn't treat you the same way. Unfortunately, sometimes people think that you have to treat everybody the same. No, you can't treat everybody the same way. Even parents know that children are not the same. And that's why we try to say we're treating our children the same way, but they have different roles they play in our lives. So today, I don't want you to see that what you are going through is peculiar to you. Hear the scripture. It said, for there is, in the scriptures we read, in 1 Corinthians that we're going to talk about tonight is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, looking at verse 13, talking about the issues of there's nothing that has come to you in terms of temptations that has not happened to people before. But God knows that you are going through, knowing you are going through it, has provided, even that you will go through it, has provided a way of escape for you. So today, I don't know who you are. You are right now helping people, and you are probably not getting the commensurate results that you expect. You know what I've learned in my own life? Promoting others sustains you. Promoting others sustains you. Now look at that word, promotion and sustenance. When you promote people today, they sustain you tomorrow. And how do I mean? Where your own ends is where others begin. Where you know and where you get to is where some other people will start their journey. Those you promote today will be the one to hold your hands tomorrow. And they will take you farther when your strength is not there as before. They will show you better ways, easier ways of doing things. So if people call you mumu, they call you fool, they call you idiot, that you are doing it and nobody recognizes, they are not paying you, that's okay. The funny thing about this life rewarding us is that the principle, according to my friend we were talking yesterday, Pastor Sam, he said it to me when we were saying about how pastors go through pains, how people, despise pastor, how people don't acknowledge and appreciate them. Because I was telling him that it's time that God will help pastors, that some members will just say, look, pastor, these 2-3 days in a week, don't go to your house. We're taking you to somewhere in a rest house or just an hotel or somewhere. Just stay away from the house. We've paid for your meal. We've paid for, just stay. Don't just come out, rest there. I said we look forward to God raising people like that. There'll be more of that. We have few doing it now, but we have praying that God will help people to see that these men of God, these women of God, they are spending their blood and their life. Life is in them, but death is dwelling in these ministers. Some people don't think the pastor needs such vacation. Oh no, why should the pastor go? He should always be on the mountain fasting and praying. Now, we're talking about that, and he said the principle is that, unfortunately, funny enough, you have to do good to 10 people for one to remember. And that is not only happening to the pastors alone, it's happened to Jesus. But when God will repay you or reward you, he will make that one to play the role of 10 in your life. So when you see you want 4 people to remember you and to help you, you have to do good to 40. He was just using that as an analogy. And in other words, even those of you who are not pastors, you find out that maybe you trained people, you helped them, you did this. At the end of the day, some of them even end up hurting you, cursing you, and doing all kinds, forgetting you. I've also been in that position. And where I remember there was somebody that took care of me while I was, in my secondary school days. I actually stayed with quite a number of persons. I moved from one person to the other. But I remember 1 or 2 of them. And I'm still thinking, Lord, what can I do to help these persons? There was a man that also, helped me along the way. One way or the other, I want to say, oh God, help me. Now, but you see, some of you that help people and you want eternal loyalty from them, you will not get it. Let it come from them. Let it come from their heart. One of the greatest regrets I have in life today is the death of my principal, Mrs. Fakorede, those days of Satellite Secondary School. I mean, if there was any person I would have loved to bring to even stay with me in my home, it was my principal. I didn't know where I were about until I heard that the governor, one of the governors of Lagos, demolished their houses, her own house, and I think she couldn't go through the emotional stress and all of that. Then she got sick. I think she passed on. When I heard it, I cried because I wished I could, help this woman, because when I did not make my first WAEC, she refused me to go. She said, the highest I'll do for you is you go and sew white and come to school and stay in the lab. Let it be that let it look like you are doing the Federal School of Art and Science, Victoria and Lagos, so that people think you are doing A levels, but you are going nowhere. My first driver's license, 14 naira, she was the one. So there are people that we remember today and we wish we could. I really wish she has, children that could, look and say, come. But God knows. So today, there are times that, you find it difficult to want to do good because you've seen people stabbed you. Don't stop. Don't stop. Because people that you helped today, the things you do today, they are the ones, the people you promote today are the ones that God will use 1, 2 of them to sustain you tomorrow. Don't forget the 2 words tonight. Promotion, okay, leads to what? Sustenance. When you promote people, they sustain you tomorrow. It may not even be them, but somehow, some way, somewhere, okay, you find yourself being sustained. Like Chaplain Dr. Folani told me some years ago. He said God has rewards, 3 forms of reward for pastors. He said 1, he gives you just to keep you going, to sustain you, keep you going on the earth, meet your needs here and there. He said the second one is he gives you honor as your own, reward here on earth, such as, oh, pastor, we've booked a vacation place for you. Oh, pastor, we've paid for your air ticket to travel. Oh, pastor, we paid your children's school fees and all of that. Oh, pastor, we've bought you some food. It's in the house. We brought some things for you. Those are honor. Oh, different things they do to just honor you here. He said, and the third one is kept for you in heaven. God says, that one, I'll keep it for you. When you get here, I'll give it to you. May you labor enough. May you wait enough on God. May you serve sincerely and honestly enough that God, the third one, he said, when you come home, I'll give you that. And that is when he will say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter ye into the rest of thy Lord. And then the crowns and the rewards will come afterwards. Have you been laboring in ministry as a servant of God, whether in Africa, America, or wherever, and you are not getting what you ought to get? Don't worry. Keep laboring, keep serving, but make sure you're honest. Make sure you're sincere. Keep promoting people. Whether they remember you or not, keep promoting them. One day, one of them will be equal to 10. One of them will give you what is equal to 10. Recently, some of you might have seen that oh, the man did this, the man did that, they surprised me with birthday and all of that. One thing I know is that if you are not tired of laboring in God's vineyard, God has a way of saying, well done. On this earth, people may not tell you well done, but there's no way there must be one person that God will send to take the place of 10 children in your life. So tonight, before you go to bed, there's nothing you are going through now, my brother, my friend, my colleague in ministry, fellow chaplains. There's nothing we're going through now that can be compared to the reward of God. It's men that pay men, but God rewards men. Once in a while I go out, I cry. I say, God, when will you come? When will this be? But you know one thing? There's someone that God is preparing. I believe it. There's somebody somewhere that is watching your faithfulness, watching your consistency, watching that commitment you are putting into God's house and into helping others. It will speak for you. Even when they don't know you, the news will spread. Good work is like an aroma. You cannot hide it. No matter how people try to hide what you are doing that is good, no matter how they try to badmouth you and to evil speak of you, don't worry. It's like an aroma. It will come forth. Keep on doing what you're doing and let the Lord see your heart. Until we come again your way, I just felt I should encourage someone before you go to bed tonight. It is well with you. It is well with your spirit. It is well with your soul. It is well with your body. Do have a good night rest. Shalom. The number again is 003-589-2801. 003-589-2801. Don't forget, encourage and keep encouraging someone. Promote and keep promoting. It will sustain you. In case you're still out there, we are still admitting students into the Chaplaincy College of Health Technology, an arm of the Word of Truth and Chaplaincy Outreach. And we are resuming the school this month end. So if you have not filled the form online, do. It's a certificate, diploma, and higher national diploma programs. Okay? And we also now have the permission to also advertise for medical x-ray. And I encourage you to also get the form and come on board so that we can train you to become a medical chaplain and be able to disguise with the training and you still be a minister of the gospel. I thank God for people that God is bringing our way. May God keep you. Shalom.